All right, friends, welcome back to the Castro Valley News live show number 44. I think this gets said every episode. I am taken aback on how many episodes we have done of this. It's been a blast, it's been fun. If you're not familiar with the show, we do audio only, like an old school radio show. There's no video. And let's start in with the roll call. I see Kimberly and John are dialed in. Good evening, Kimberly and John. Hope you guys are doing well. I'll just hang back for a second so we can. Bob is here. Roll call. Good evening, Bob. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Thank you again, Bob, for all of your information and insights as to the COVID vaccination situation going on. Peggy Sue, good evening to you. Hello, hello from Idaho. Hello, hello back to you. Sending you good vibrations from Castro Valley, for the lack of a better term. That sounds kind of 70s, but yes. Peggy Sue, are you in that area that's getting all the cold weather? And I have to confess, I kind of failed at geography. I didn't do very well. There's another person who's on the page who is in Texas, and he had mentioned to me. Let me pull up his comment here because I sent him a message earlier. He said they're doing okay. He did mention it's freakishly cold in Texas, and he also mentioned the scheduled blackouts are inconvenient. And I think us here in California, we know a little something about those rolling blackouts, but it's just wild that Texas is in that super cold area. Peggy Sue says in Idaho Falls. I hope you're staying warm, Peggy Sue. I hope that it's just wacky. Getting back to the roll call, Dennis is in the house. Good evening, Dennis. Christy is waving. Good evening, Christy. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, we're doing the roll call. We're saying hello to all the folks out there who are listening, who take a moment to comment on the thread there. Make sure I didn't miss anybody here. Like I said, we're just doing the roll call. So I'm comfortable saying his first name, but like I said, Matthew was a lifelong person here in Castro Valley. Moved to Texas a couple years ago, and like I said, I just wanted to. I sent him a message to check in to see how things were going with him, and I believe he's got two young children. So heard a bunch of information on the news. I think Texas is in, I think their temperature is in the single digits. Some places are even colder. Good evening, Kathy. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Haven't heard from Kathy in a while. And thank you to everyone for tuning in and listening to the our talk show. Yes, sending love to Texas. Bob is asking, and actually, it's good that you brought this up, Bob, because I was going to bring it up later, asking about the Rite Aid thing, the situation happening at Rite Aid. Um, Wait, before that, Don Shalpy says, "What's up, party people? Good evening, Don. How are you? Hope you're doing well. I hope you have a wonderful and fetching smile on your face this evening." The Rite Aid thing. I went in, asked a employee, and they said nothing. And I've got a couple of calls into one of their local representatives. So, and we're kind of playing phone tag right now. So, I unfortunately, I've got nothing on the Rite Aid thing. But as soon as I find out, I'll let you guys know. Sorry, I had a week to try and come up with something, and I played as many cards in the deck that I could to get information, and nobody with the county seems to know, uh, which makes sense because it doesn't seem like they're doing any improvements as of yet to the exterior of the building. But there is it's a lot of their shelving has lined up, kind of creating a makeshift wall inside Rite Aid. But uh, we'll see. We will see. Hopefully within the next week or so, I will hear back from that representative with Rite Aid to see what's going on. I could say this: the things Rite Aid is not closed. I don't think they're closing. Good evening, Mary. Thank you for dialing in, tuning in, clicking on the link. I don't know how do we how do we best describe um, when people are listening to the show because it's online. Do you say tuning in? Because tuning in would be radio. Dialing it, clicking on the. Thank you for listening. You guys just tell me to shut up. Just say thank you for listening. Mary, thank you for listening. Thank you everyone for listening. Hang on, guys. I am remiss and delinquent in my duties because we have a sponsor, and I almost overlooked mentioning tonight's sponsor. Thank you to tonight's sponsor, Forester.org, a local nonprofit with the mission to reforest urban communities. You can learn more about them and their goals at their website, forester.org. That is FORESTR.org. They are an environmental conservation organization based here in Castro Valley. We need trees. We need trees. They help the environment, they help the ecology, they help us breathe. So thank you again to tonight's sponsor, Forester.org. That is FORESTR.org. Check them out. They're doing good things. Don says he thinks they're putting a Chick-fil-A at Rite Aid. I doubt that. Bob says he logs in. So there you go. So going forward, I will say logging in. I say that now, but probably next week I'll probably say tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Anyways, is there anyone that I missed in the roll call here? Let me go back. Give me a second. I don't want to overlook anyone. If you're listening and you want to be part of the roll call, throw a comment out there and say hello, or the emoji of the waving hand, and we'll give you a shout out. Don says, say it like Sean Connery would say it. Say what? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. There you go. Sorry, guys. I'm making sure I don't miss anyone on the roll call. Looks like is that it for the roll call, you guys? Looks like it. Don Scialpi, hello, good evening, Don Scialpi. Wonderful to have you on the show. I'm glad you tuned in. I'm glad you logged in to the show. A couple things that I wanted to mention about local businesses. I'm just going out and about. Kimberly is mentioning the bowling alley is going to open soon because indoor dining is supposed to open soon. I don't know if we're going to be returning to indoor dining. I do hear that all of the numbers are the infection rates and all that. I hear that that there's a swing turning back to kind of a reduction in that. So we may we may be moved from the purple to the red tier sometime soon, and I think it went from purple to red. The colors that were used in that the tier level just is confusing. You would think if we were in purple, we would go back to orange or some. Anyways, if we end up going back to a lesser restrictive tier, indoor dining, I believe, may open. And getting back to Kimberly's comment, I think I don't know if that would cover the bowling alley. It may actually cover the restaurant that is at the bowling alley, and it's unfortunate that I think it's the Lucky 88. I hope, but it's kind of it's just odd that they haven't done any takeout because they have a door that faces the parking lot. Mary says, "Yay for red tier." I hope we end up in the red tier and things can the restrictions can be loosened somewhat. Thank you, Bob. You are a font of information. Bob says purple, red, orange, yellow. That makes sense. Kimberly's saying she went to Southern Comfort Kitchen tonight for dinner. This has been mentioned almost every show. SoCo, they kill it. They destroy it. They are great. They're great people. The food is awesome. We just did, it's deja vu. We just did a restaurant review with Cedric not too long ago. I will request our wonderful, fetching, intelligent, well-dressed, snazzy, well-spoken moderator to post the review of Southern Comfort Kitchen that we did with Cedric. They're owned locally. They kill it. The food is fantastic. Don is saying, bring on the bowling. I agree. Let's all go do the midnight bowling on Friday night when that is safe. Yes, I agree. Let's get back to the less restrictive regulations. Bob is saying the winter lockdown was super secret probation level. I remember that. It was. Those first days of the shelter in place, and that was a year ago. Those first days were just surreal because there was literally no one out anywhere. And thank you to I'm not going to act silly. Thank you to our wonderful Johnny on the spot moderator for posting the Southern Comfort Kitchen review with Cedric. Cedric's just awesome. Cedric tells it like it is, and he's got a wonderful personality, and he's just awesome. He knows food. I've known Cedric for a long time, and he's a killer guy, a local guy too. He's a teacher in Hayward. I probably shouldn't give that out because that's sensitive information. What was I talking about? Oh, when the shelter in place first happened, I'm gonna go down, take a trip down memory lane here for a second. Those first days were just surreal. Let me give a shout out. I think Jason Carmichael is on. I didn't see his comment, but I want to give him a shout out. Good evening to you, Jason. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody in the roll call here. Ooh, these kooky pop-ups. Don is saying more Sean Connery. Can I give a shout out to Jason Carmichael as Sean Connery? Good evening, Jason. Jason's in the house. Don Shelby wanted to hear Sean Connery, and there it is. So the first days of the shelter in place over a year ago, Christy is saying March 16th is when our current shelter in place started. Thank you, Christy. You are a font of information as well. It was surreal going outside. I went out on my bicycle. I was really, really worried that I was going to get arrested or something, or Christy says, Mitchell says shelter in place. Okay. Good evening, Jason. I give you a shout out. I give you another one. Welcome to the show. those first days of the shelter in place, I lived near a freeway and the freeway was dead, and it was just it was like living on another planet to not have so much, auto noise from the freeway. And then, like I said, going out, taking a bicycle ride around town, there was nobody out. There was nobody walking. I saw, I had a mask on to begin with because it was part of what they were talking about, what the whole shelter in place was. And it was probably the first day that I went out on my bicycle with a mask. And I remember there was a sheriff sitting in his car near Safeway, and he just gave me I received an interesting look. I can imagine what someone on a bicycle wearing a mask, and it wasn't a mask. It was a T-shirt with one of those blue towels on the inside. I can imagine I probably looked like I was just leaving a crime scene or something. But those first days of the shelter in place were just nuts, and it we should probably move to a different topic because that's not really a pleasant thing. Maybe we should do a retrospective on the shelter in place when we're fully out of it. I would suppose that would probably be a better, a more appropriate time to discuss that. I wanted to mention I've been out and about and handing out some of the stickers that we're doing that we're giving out to help promote local shopping. And actually, I gotta cross out a couple things off the list here. That's Rite Aid discussion, and now we're going to be doing shop local stickers. So in going out to um, taking some photos with business people with the stickers that we're giving out. And if you're not familiar, we've got some bumper stickers that say Castro Valley and the Star Wars logo. They're super awesome if you haven't seen them. So the concept is if you email us pictures of receipts that you've received recently shopping local, we send you a bumper sticker. Legitimate big bumper stickers. They're super cool. All you have to do is just email the pictures of your receipts to bizsticker. That's BIZ sticker at gmail.com. And we will send your Castro Valley Star Wars font sticker to you. But getting to the point, I've been out and talking to business owners, and it's interesting kind of to gauge how people are doing. And as you can imagine, the restaurants, it's just been like a roller coaster ride for them. And thank you to our wonderful, fetching, wise, learned moderator for posting the recent photo that we took at JP's with Nasir. And I wanted to share with you some of the things that Nasir had told me. And again, he kind of said it's really been a roller coaster ride because going back to the initial shelter in place, everything was closed. And then we went to the period where outdoor dining was okay. Then we came back to where it was only takeout. And Nasir pretty much confirmed that it's just been a roller coaster ride. But I wanted to share with you some of the amazing things that he had told me about how he is continuing and the level of support that JP's has received from the community. He mentioned just word of mouth has been amazing. He's just been amazed and surprised at the level of support. He said that there have been customers who have come in and they've purchased, like a $20 or $30 meal, and these customers would put down a $100 bill and say, I want the change to go to the server. That is amazing. He mentioned that there was one time there was a takeout order, and I think the total was maybe $75, and someone put down $300 bills and said the change goes to your serving staff. That's amazing. And he and I stopped for a moment and we kind of basked in the glow of how awesome people are in our town. And it's true. There really can't be enough said about how. Wait. Let me say good evening to Annette. Good evening. You're late. It's okay. No worries. I'm glad you tuned in. And Layla, good evening to you. So getting back to the conversation I had with Nasir over at JP's, and if you ever get a chance, and if you're in the neighborhood, stop off at JP's. They put on great food. The bar is phenomenal. Like I said, they're doing the outdoor dining. But getting back to the conversation that I had with him, like I said, we kind of mentioned just how awesome people are here in Castro Valley, how supportive, how whenever there's something that, whenever there's a need, there are people in town that are just immediate to come and offer a helping hand, and that is awesome. It can't be said enough. When you go out and you spend money on something, please consider doing it in town first and support our neighbors, because a lot of the folks that own the businesses here in our community live in town or live close. So really you're supporting your neighbors, you're supporting yourself. But if you're over at JP's, just say hello to Nasir. He's there all the time. He told me he's there 7 days a week. And he mentioned, some people ask, well, how do you do that? How do you manage to keep going? And it really was heartening to me to hear that he said what keeps him going is the people here, the support from the community. He said, even given the fact of how difficult it may be for a restaurant to open, he said if he were opening a restaurant now, he would open it in Castro Valley. And that's just testament to our community. You guys are awesome. I want to thank you guys for supporting all of the local businesses. Another person that I spoke to was Sunthi over at Dampa, and it's been different for them there. It has things haven't been going too well, but they are improving. And just another thing that Santhi, the same thing was said by Santhi, that the support from the community has been amazing, and it's awesome. It can't be said enough to shop local as much as you can. I know a lot of people are kind of tied into shopping online and doing that thing. But if there's things that you can purchase in town, please do so. Um, Jason is mentioning recommend everyone go buy some records at One Bad Apple after you dine at JP's. Good idea, because One Bad Apple is owned by Don Scialpi, and Don's a top-notch dude. Don loves the community. Um, Don's kids grew up out here, and another business owner that I interact with that is bouncing back is Aaron over at Aaron's Art Studio. And if you don't know that they're there, Aaron's has been open for I think 20 years. If you're looking for something to do, you can go to Aaron's and you can do paint your own pottery, you can do glass fusing. You can disconnect your mind from the problems of the day by creating art, and it's a distraction from the troubles that we all may be going through, and it's a good thing. All of these businesses need your support now more than ever. I know I sound like I'm harping on that, but it can't be stressed enough. If there really isn't a town if you don't have independent mom and pop businesses. Outside of that, we're just going to have a bunch of chain stores or fast food, which is another topic for another show. But please shop local, and when you do, take a photo of your receipts from independent businesses, independent merchants, independent services. It does not matter what it is. It can we got receipts from chiropractors. You get a sticker. We just want people to shop local now more than ever and continue to do so. And particularly if you can, go get some takeout or do some outdoor dining from a local independent restaurant. These people are really struggling, and like Nasir over at JP said, it's 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 our support that is going to keep them going through these troubled times. Okay, there's I think one. Yeah, there's another thing off the list. Um, this is going to be. I don't know if I should bring this up or not. Yeah, I'll bring it up. So someone messaged me in regards to the photo from the sheriff, the sheriff deputy that helped the elderly lady find her house. And the comments weren't posted on the thread from what I saw, but I wanted to run these by you and get your and kind of gauge your reaction. So in regards to the deputy, this person said he is posting two gang signs. Hang cool, WTF, you are a police officer. How dare you use someone's grandmother for a quote unquote cool moment? The same goes with his Blue Lions bandana. Why are you posting this? He's posting white racist gang signs. I cannot believe no one saw this. Uh, I don't want to invalidate anybody's feelings. You have your right to feel that way, but I don't agree that any of that was the intent of that photo. I think in this day and age, any positive thing we can see that's happening in our community is probably a good thing. There's more, there's a smorgasbord of reasons to be depressed. And that might be the SAT word for the evening, smorgasbord. Um, we have enough reasons to feel bad. Why not put something out there that feels good? That a deputy helped an elderly lady find her son, I think, find her way home, which her son found her way home. I know there's kind of a knee-jerk reaction that a lot of people have in regards to seeing law enforcement, and I understand that. I get that. I feel it. The George Floyd thing really pissed me off. But with that said, you can't throw every police officer or law enforcement officer, you can't throw the whole lot out because there's a bad apple. Castro Valley News has done a ton of ride-alongs with the sheriffs and CHP, and my experience with the sheriffs is we have a lot of great people on the streets here in Castro Valley and in the unincorporated areas with the sheriff's department protecting us. Are there bad sheriffs or sheriffs that may do bad things, misbehave? Yeah, I'm sure there are. But I don't think they're all bad just because of a few that may be. So I don't want to invalidate that person's feelings in regard to some of the things that they brought up or they said. I don't think the hang loose thing is a gang sign. I don't think the bandana on his face is a gang thing. I think it may be expected for a sheriff or a police officer to have a bandana that might have the blue flag. It's the blue flag, so that means blue lives matter, or I guess it's blue lives, and I'm stammering because I'm trying to say this right. Um, I don't think that's a gang sign. The hang loose thing is, I believe, is from Hawaii, and it's hang loose. I can't tell because he's wearing a mask. He may be Hawaiian. So I wanted to bring that up because that was kind of a behind the scenes thing that came up. And why am I posting this? Yeah, he's a cute young cop, but posting white racist gang signs. I don't agree. Um, but again, everyone has the right to their opinion, and please disagree with me. Please call me out on it. But please, let's all be friends or not adversaries just because we disagree with each other. That is a dying art. The art of peacefully disagreeing. It's something that a lot of us have trouble with. It's something that we don't see much anymore. And I think it's something that we should all consider practicing more. And I'm going to step on the soapbox here. Uh, we can all bring our own perspectives to the table and disagree. When it's all said and done, um, let's. If this deputy did a good job and did something good on duty, let's tip a cap to him. If he did something bad, let's expose that as well. And I don't remember the instances. There was something that there have actually been a few things. There actually have been a few things that that some Alameda County sheriff's deputies have done that were not good, that have been out there. There was unfortunately a deputy who, this one hit home because he was a deputy that we filmed of quite a few ride-alongs with this deputy. I probably shouldn't mention his name, but I believe he was engaged in some sort of sexual oriented texting things, and he's no longer with the sheriffs. We put that out there. We had to. We have a job to do. We have to be fair. So, yeah, I'm going to move on from that because I just wanted to bring that to you guys' attention. I didn't see those comments on the thread. To me, it looked like uh, something, a positive thing to put out there. And I have an elderly mom. If she got lost or was disoriented, I would want law enforcement to help her as well. So onward and upward from that one. Um, oh, I don't know. I don't. Do you guys have any topics or questions or comments or things that you think we should be talking about? Mary, yes, agree to disagree. Laura is saying nothing wrong with the sheriff photo. Some people like to embellish what they see. Hang loose, sign us Hawaiian. Correct. Um, Sharon is saying, let's just give the cop praise for finding the way home when she was lost. It's not a racial item. How many of you would be willing to do the job that cops do? It's not an easy job. Like I said, we've filmed a ton of ride-alongs with sheriffs and CHP, and a lot of what they do is, I don't want to say this wrong, but it's a lot of it is interpersonal disputes that can actually be resolved between two people who disagree, discussing it in a rational manner. There was, oh my, they, Layla is right. They risk their lives for us. And a lot of times they risk their lives for us in things that are domestic disputes or situations where it's just people disagreeing with each other. We went on a ride along a lot of years ago. This was actually one of the first ones that we did, and this was probably over a decade ago. Long time. Sorry, I don't know the exact time, but it was a super rainy night. Is that a that's an Eddie Rabbit song, isn't it? Never mind. It was a super rainy night, and there was someone. We were right over here, I think, in Fairmont Terrace, right near Castro Valley, and there was a house further up on a hill from another house down the hill, and this person had a problem with this pool overflowing. It was raining so much, and some of the water went down onto the other person's property. And the person at the lower property was nonplussed about the water in his lawn and managed to be, I don't think he managed, he was so flustered and nonplussed. Is that another SAT word? He was so frustrated. He was pissed off. He was so pissed off, he threatened to kill the other guy. I'm going to kill you if you don't manage your water. So we responded to this call, and literally, guy down the hill, he is just lit. He is beside himself, angry, and he's yelling to the guy at the property that we're at, and blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, the deputy we're with, he peeks his head over the fence and he says, hey, can we talk about this? The guy at the lower property goes, who the F are you? So the deputy we're with flashes the light on his face and he goes, I'm with the sheriff's office. And then he flashes the light to us and he goes, and this is the film crew. Needless to say, the whole situation de-escalated from there. Cool heads prevailed. You know, the guy on the lower part of the property was just having a bad day. Things weren't going good. Granted, we saw his yard down there and it literally got flooded. I mean, it was just pouring rain, and there was a pool issue and it overflowed and the water went down there. So, I mean, a lot of the things, and if you're a deputy, you don't know what you're going to be walking into when someone's saying he's going to physically harm someone over water. You don't know if this guy's armed. You don't know what's going on. So there have been some really hairy, sticky situations that we've seen, going on. And it's going back to, you may have your own life experiences where you've maybe been mistreated by police. I'm going to be honest with you. I've actually been pulled over a couple times, and probably, perhaps based on the way that I look, maybe that was why I was pulled over. That was in Hayward. So I get that your life experiences shape your viewpoint on law enforcement. I have to say, the ride-alongs and meeting a lot of the law enforcement officers that I've interacted with has really changed my perception and my viewpoint on law enforcement. And totally, I hope you guys aren't getting. I hope the takeaway here isn't not me defending them, but I've been lucky enough to have a different perspective because I've gone on so many ride-alongs. Anyone with the public can do a ride-along. There's a huge kibosh on them because of COVID. I don't know, is COVID a SAT word too? But as soon as the ride-along, as soon as the shelter in place, this COVID thing goes away, anyone from the public can do a ride-along with the sheriffs. Go do one. Definitely go do one. You got to sign up. You have to sign a release. Anyone with the public can do one. I believe with sheriffs and CHP, go do one. It's an eye opener. It's if you're into it, I guess, if you have time, it's interesting, it's eye opening, it's enlightening, and you'll get a firsthand experience as to what Law enforcement does. And like I said, a lot of it is dealing with interpersonal disputes. This guy took my car. I didn't want him to take my car. He's my boyfriend. He's my girlfriend. She's my girl. Excuse me, that I'm gender confused here, but you get the point. My roommate took my car and I didn't want him to. A lot of that stuff, and a lot of it is people are in the moment. They're so uh, frustrated and angry. They call the cops. They want police to handle situations that they could have handled themselves had they kind of stepped back and maybe cooled down a little bit and got a better perspective of the situation. And I know what that's like. When you're mad, and you want to uh, you want to get back at a person. Uh, you want some sort of, I don't know. Uh, oh, thank you, Bob. You're saving me because my train of thought just totally derailed. Bob is saying, did I feel ride-alongs were dangerous? There were times, yes, that I felt some of the situations that we were in could be dangerous. But on the same note, when we would get into some of the situations that were sort of dangerous, the deputy we were with would say, "Hey, stay by the car, or stay behind me." But Mary is asking, "Is it like the show Cops?" Yes, the episodes that we did with the sheriffs and CHP, very similar to Cops. Um, it, it, some nights we would go out and nothing would happen. There were other nights where we ended up going to a car overturned in the canyon, or um, sometimes prom shoots, promiscuous shooting of a gun. We would go to some of those. Um, it's basically, it depends on uh, it's really luck of the draw. There is kind of a superstition among, I believe, all law enforcement, all first responders. I believe paramedics adhere to this, and firefighters as well. Um, if it's a full moon, something weird is going to happen. There have been times where it's been a full moon and weird stuff has happened. Um, Normally, hot weather, if it's hot, there's probably going to be something interesting happening because, as you know, when it gets hot, people tend to um, uh, get a little bit more aggravated or tense or what have you. But going back to Bob's question, I have I have honestly felt that some of the calls that we've gone out to could have been dangerous, but being a reporter, there is there's a certain attraction to things that will get the adrenaline flowing. I'm not gonna lie, I like when things are exciting. So, and I miss doing those ride-alongs. It's probably been years. Well, it's been at least 1 year. Oops. But and it's just like I said, I don't want to go back and forth. Brenda is asking, not sure if the paramedic does ride along. Yeah, that's a great idea. Brenda's mentioning to do a paramedic ride along. I've never done one. That would be a blast. I did I did do an all day ride along with CalStar, the the paramedic helicopter folks, and that was, nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. But it was great because it was the first day that they actually had, and this was years ago, guys. It was the first day that they had the helicopter without the tail rotor. So this helicopter literally goes straight up and comes straight down, and it was a blast. The pilot was kind of an he was an OG. He had been on the job for quite some time, and his co-pilot was behind me, and she was new. So the pilot looks at me. I'm riding shotgun. I'm riding next to him, and he looks at me. He goes, "Check this out." We go straight up. We ascend so fast. I almost lost my breakfast and my coffee. The co-pilot in the back, she actually did lose. Whatever meal she had, she lost it. And he looks at me and he winks. um, so I had my camera because, of course, we're going, and this was totally a blast. I was on a waiting list for a long time for this, and the helicopter ride, we went across the bay and lots of cool things to see. So I had my camera and I'm taking pictures, and every time I would go and do, like an intense focus on something, he'd hit the joystick and we'd move to the side, so I'd lose my focus. But he was a blast. That was fun. But going back to the ride-alongs, definitely. Oh yeah, our our moderator found the video of the backyard ride-along, and now that I see the picture is 2013. It was it wasn't a pool, it was a backyard pool that was it was a koi pond. This gentleman had converted his oh gosh, Bob's saying go with the Blue Angels. I would love to. Um, he had converted a backyard pool into a koi pond, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. But like I said, it was pouring rain and all the water, that's just, yeah. Um, Laura is mentioning any medical related ride-alongs may no longer be allowed due to HIPAA laws. That could be true. But anyways, yeah, definitely if you can do a ride-along with sheriff's CHP as soon as this COVID thing blows over. They're not doing any ride-alongs because of COVID, which is totally understandable because you're in a car with whatever law enforcement officer or deputy of your choice. But definitely do one if you can, if you have time, and get a perspective on what law enforcement officers do. It's eye-opening to say the least. And if you happen to be doing this on a day or night where something of interest happens, it can be an adrenaline rush. We have been on calls on East 14th where someone shoplifted at a 7-Eleven, and we were just top speed running down East 14th with the deputy after this person who had shoplifted at the 7-Eleven on East 14th. There have been times where, oh, we've been in the middle of, deputies with guns drawn because there's an alarm going on at a business, and the deputies don't know if someone is in there or not. So, and in that situation, the deputy says, "You guys need to hang back. Don't be with us until I give you the okay to come and film what we're doing." But it's an incredible peek into the life of law enforcement. You have to have some strong uh, you have to have some serious intestinal fortitude. I think that's another SAT term or word to do that job, because you don't know what call is going to come in, and you you could be in a situation where it could be, guns could be drawn, people could be, doing things where they're not going to want to get caught and may shoot at you. And it's yeah, it's a tough job. It's not one that I would want to do. It's not one that I would do. I think a lot of the law, not a lot, there's quite a few law enforcement officers who are ex-military. I have a best friend in Connecticut who is ex-military, who is now currently police for Department of Justice, and it just fits for a lot of people who are former military or current military, because you could be doing military part-time and also do work for law enforcement. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. But again, getting to some of the more interesting ones, there was just posted a CHP episode where uh, we were pulling someone over and he took off. So we were in a pretty fast pursuit, and this person tossed. There were two passengers. Guy tossed a backpack out of the car. There were some guns and some other stuff in there, and check the video out. I don't remember exactly what happened, but it's a good episode. Um, it just really illustrates how, one moment you're just patrolling, and then another moment someone's running from you. So you don't know if this guy's got warrants or what. But yeah. With all that said, um, let me try to summarize this episode. Um, Shop local, do a ride along if you can, or you can watch our videos. We've done tons of them, and you can see some of the stuff that happens. Um, oh, Don, there you go. There's a Don says, if Robert says I will take a tequila shot. Don, just for you. Uh, 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 uh. There you go, Don. There's at least what, 3, 4 shots. Hey guys, thank you guys for tuning in. We've got a couple more minutes if you want to post a question or comment or complaint or confession or something that we should be following or something that is on your mind. Please post it, or you can text me at 510-331-9112. 510-331-9112 is the number if you'd like to call, text. If you have a comment, complaint, confession, I've got 2 things I'm just crossing off the list. Christy says Beavis and Butthead. That is true. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in and listening to me ramble and babble. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Keep shopping local. Keep being good to yourselves. Keep being good to each other. Oh, last thing I wanted to mention, I wanted to thank you guys. I'm so glad I didn't forget this, because I really wanted to thank you guys. At the last minute, we did a Valentine's card drive for seniors and the senior care homes here in town. And I think in like a week, we got almost 700 cards, and that's amazing. And I wish I had taken more photos of them, but a lot of them were homemade by kids in town, and it's just going back to the conversation I had with the gentleman who owns JP's. It's really, really awesome. The people here care so much and give so much of themselves and their time to help others. I wish I could have taken all of you guys with me delivering these cards to the senior homes, because because of COVID and HEPA and all that, we can't see the seniors getting them. But the folks that work there were just so pleased and so happy that they had these cards to give to their residents. It's awesome. Thank you guys so much for being incredible and just so generous with your time and your resources to help our neighbors, especially particularly the seniors, who a lot of these people may not be able to leave the residents of these homes that they're at. So any little bit of positivity and any little bit of of happiness brought to them, I'm sure goes a long way. So we will be doing the card drive next Christmas and probably next Valentine's Day. And if you guys have any suggestions of how we can do more for seniors in town, please let me know, and I'll see what I can do to make it happen. Actually, it's not me who makes it happen. It's you guys who make it happen. I'm just I'm the conduit. Is that another SAT word? I'm just the go-between guy. You guys did that. Amazing to have received almost 700 cards to bring to just about every home, care home or residential home. That's Baywood Court, that's Valley Point, that's Fern Lodge. All these homes received the amount that they wanted. So thank you guys for being awesome. Thank you for shopping local and supporting our neighbors at our businesses. With that said, we've burned another hour of me, my hot air, my blather. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for making Castro Valley what it is. It is I'm not going to say amazing again. I just did. You guys make our community incredible. Geographically, any town, any city, and any unincorporated area could be anything. It's the people who make it amazing. And Bob is asking, were there HIPAA issues? No. Easter cards. Yes, we can do Easter cards as well. Thank you, Mary, for the suggestion. I should probably make a list for the calendar days for when we do the card drives. With that said, thank you guys for being awesome. Thank you for shopping local. Sorry, I had to be quiet. My dog is asleep on the couch over here, and he's barking in his sleep. If you guys could see it or hear it, it's the cutest thing in the world. He barks in his sleep. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for being awesome. Thank you guys for caring. Stay safe, stay healthy. Be good to your neighbors, be good to yourselves. And as always, when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. See you guys next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Thanks again, guys.